Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? Hope you are all fine. I am your English teacher and today I am with a new topic which is present perfect tense. As you know, we have done in our previous lectures about the two types of tenses. Firstly, simple present definite tense, then the now. Today we will discuss about the present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is totally different from the previous one tense. Why? Why it is a different? What's the difference between and what's a okay, first of all, present perfect tense. The most initial point is to discuss about what is a present perfect. What is the actual meaning of these two words? Present perfect, which means that anything that ends in present by using the perfect tense, then we can say that this one is a present perfect tense. The actual definition, anything that ends or complete in present, and we can call it present perfect, but not tense. But we use the tense to represent the things that ends and complete in present, and then the tense we use, then we can call the present perfect tense, because this tense is a representative of all those things that ends or completed but in our present right now. Just for example, I have a board marker in my hand. Just I opened the cap of the board marker. I did it at that time. I did it in a present. If I covered it with the cap of the board marker, which means I did it this action but in a present, not in past, not I will do in a future, and this act is just a present perfect because the situation is ends and the complete right now. Then this one is called a present perfect tense. Okay, in the previous lectures I told you so many times that we have the three categories of each tense, and same patterns we will follow because this one is a series of tenses. We have the 12 tenses and this one is a third type of the series, present perfect. In the previous we have done the simple present indefinite tense, in the second one we have done the present continuous tense, and today we will discuss about the present perfect tense. The first type is a affirmative. Affirmative, you can say that this one is a very simple tense, and first of all is just should be priority to discuss about the identification and the recognition of the tense, how we can define. First of all, if we talk about the identification, because the identification necessary to talk about, to make us tenses, and is a very necessary to create and to write a sentence in the form of the present perfect tense. That's why is the identification is a must. And for the students, the questions appears in the form of the Urdu statement, and therefore it's a very compulsory to read the Urdu statement twice and then make sure that this statement is related this type of tense and you have to write it in a correct form. Okay, now talk about the identification and which type of identification you need to know about the identification of the present perfect tense to write a proper statement. The first identification is चुका है, चुकी है, चुके हैं. Only concept is that this type of statement is only a single identification for the present perfect tense, but is a totally a wrong concept. We have the three type of identification for the present perfect tense. How? Alif hai is as well the identification of present perfect. Alif ho, alif hai. The third type लिया है, ली है, ले हैं. Okay, now focused on these three types of identification, the ending point, focus on the ending point. This one is alif hai, this one is choti ye hai, this one is badi ye hai, which means that liya hai if we focused on the ending point alif hai, and we can say that these three types apparently are different, but in fact these are three types are same. But just for the students confusion, examiner just to create a confusion of the students, ask a question in the different types, and for your knowledge it's compulsory to focus on and to need to know about these three types at the same time. Next point is the helping verb we use. Helping verb. We have the two types of helping verb. Which one? Has. Second one have. Has or have. These are two types, and the criteria to use these two types are different. How? We use the has with the singular. He, she or it. Then we use the has. If we want to use a have, then we use with the plural I, we, they, and then put the have. These are the differentiation between the use of the helping verbs. Singular. I already told you singular, which means I have a one board marker in my hand. This one is called a singular thing. But if I hold the two board markers at the same time, which means these are the more than the ones, and these are the plural concept. So we have to use the has with the singular he, she, it, and the have with the plural I, we, they, you. The next thing that the use of the form of the verb, because these are the basic things and the basic need to make a proper statement. Form of the verb which we have to use with the has or have is the compulsory thing, that we have to use the third form of the word with the has or have, and we can call the third form is the past participle. Past participle is the third form, and you can say, you can call with the another name past participle, and we have to use the third form. Next one is the formation, how we can form or create a tense. Formation. For the formation we need a statement, and I am going to write a very random example in the Urdu statement, because in the exams you have to solve the Urdu statement into English and you have to convert it into English. I have written, I am going to write a Urdu statement just for example. वो खाना खा चुका है. First thing that you have to keep it in your mind, that firstly read the statement twice, then focused on the ending point, which are called your identification and the recognition. चुका है, if you focused the ending point alif है, चुका है, these are the two, apparently these are the two, but in fact this one is only a one identification. Okay, now it's time to turn it and convert it into English. Firstly, to find out subject, a person that does anything, you can say that this one is a subject. The second one is a verb, you can say that action that performed by a subject is called a verb. Object, that all these things that done on it, on anything, that you can say that this one is a object. Now it's time to convert it. Firstly, to write here a subject, this one is a singular subject. Firstly put here he, then is need to write here the correct one helping verb, because we are talking about a singular person, and for the singular person we have to use here and the put here the has, he has, and now is turn to write, and has is the helping verb, auxiliary verb, helping verb, be form of verb, these are the same category. then he has. Now write here the verb which means the person something eating. Eating is a verb because this one is a action, the real one action, but eat is the first form, but here we have to use with the third form, past participle and turn it into and convert into the third form. He has eaten meal, and at the end put the object. If I write here the same example but in the another form, just for example, उसने खाना खा लिया है. What's the difference between these two types? If we convert it into English, then the translation of this statement will be same. He has eaten meal. And now what's the difference? The English, the conversion is the same, the translation is the same, but the difference is only the recognition and the ending point. And just for you create your confusion, the examiner also ask a question in these two or three types, and you have to focus the identification, the proper recognition, then you can solve it easily. So this one is the criteria and method to solve the affirmative sentence but in the present perfect. The next part of this tense is a negative. All those tenses which create a sense of the not, nothing, no, then we can say that this one is belong to the negative statement. If any statement create the sense of the not, then we can say that this one is a negative statement, and you have to solve it according to the criteria of the negative. And the criteria and the pattern remain same. The identification for the negative remains same because we are doing the present perfect but in the negative. The little bit difference we have to solve with the little bit difference, and the difference I will mention next. The helping verb, we will use the same helping verb. The formation, the form of the verbs, we will use the same form of the verbs. We will use the third form of the verb, and the helping verb remains same, identification remains same, but with the nahi. In the Urdu statement and the English statement, use the not to complete a negative statement. How? Just for example, I am taking the same example. वो खाना नहीं खा चुका है. Okay, first one is to find out, is to make sure that this statement is a negative or not. वो खाना नहीं खा चुका है, नहीं. This one is clearly showing that this statement is a negative statement, and solve it according to the negative criteria and to put the not. If we will not put the not and solve the statement without putting the not, which means that we are doing a simple affirmative sentence and we are not solving the negative statement. This thing is a clear differentiation between the affirmative and between the negative. So for the clarification and for the differentiation, you have to put the not, because this one is you can say this one is a helping verb for the negative. Okay, now is time to convert it. Firstly, same criteria, same method, helping verbs, identification we will use the same. He has. Now put the not very after with the helping verb and before the actual or the real verb. Eaten. He has not eaten meal. What's the difference? Only the difference of the not. This is clearly showing off that this statement is a negative statement and belong to the negative, nothing, nope, and creating and spreading vibes of negative. So this one is the criteria to put the not very after the helping verb and before the actual verb, because we have the two types of the helping verb. First one is a helping verb, second one is a actual verb, real verb, and the helping verb is also the another name of the helping verb, auxiliary verb, be form of verb, and the original verb, the action verb are the same category verbs. Action or original verb in which a person or a subject performs an action, then is the action verbs. But helping verbs that helps to join the two statements with each other and helps to complete your statement is a helping verb. So this one is a criteria to solve a negative statement. And the last one, the third part of the present perfect tense is the interrogative. In the previous lecture, I already explained in a very detailed form that we to solve the interrogative statement, we have the two categories. First one category is to use the helping verb at the very beginning, at the start of your statement, helping verb in which include has, have, is, am, are, and so on, helping verbs that we use in different kinds of the tenses. The first thing is that we have to use the helping verb at the beginning, at the start of our statement. The second point is the questioning statement: who, where, when, how, and the so on. These are types of the questioning statement, because interrogative, which is the actual meaning, is the question mark. Sometimes the question mark is present at the statement, at the end of your statement, but sometimes not. But it doesn't mean that this one is not an interrogative statement, because if you have the questioning statement in the Urdu, if we convert into the Urdu, kya, kyun, kaise, and these type of the words in the Urdu statement, which means that you have a interrogative statement and you have to convert it into a interrogative according to the interrogative pattern and the criteria. And these are the two types of the interrogative statements. Okay, now the criteria to solve the statement will be remain same, because the helping verbs we use same helping verbs we will use, same identification we will use, even the form of the verbs we will use, and the remain same. But what's the difference? How can say that this one is interrogative, this one is affirmative, this one is a negative? So for the differentiation, we have to put these type of the helping verbs and the questioning words at the start of your statement to create the vibes of the interrogative sentence. So here I am taking the same example but in the interrogative one. क्या वो खाना खा चुका है? And now put the question mark at the end, because this question mark is the sign that this statement is the interrogative statement. For the kya, we will not use the what, because it is illogical. So we only use the has or have, because actually has or have the helping verbs, if we put the helping verb at the start of a statement, because these helping verbs make your statement interrogative statement. So put here the, instead of the what, put here the has, because we are talking about only a one person, single person, and the start, write the has at the very start of your statement. Has he eaten meal? And in the solving statement is necessary to put the question mark. If we talk about these WH family, these type of questioning statement, and how can we solve this type of the questioning statement? Okay, now put here the helping verb for the singular one, has, and then very after the helping verbs here, put here the subject, when has he, and the third form the actual verb, the past participle, eaten meal, and the question mark is necessary. This one is a criteria to solve the WH family. And the helping verb at the start of the statement, how can we write and differentiate these two types of the statement? Okay students, today we learned about tense, the next category of the tense, present perfect tense, and the three types of the present perfect tense, in which include affirmative, negative, or the interrogative. First one I told you and I clarified the differentiation between these three types, and what is the basically your priority should to learn about and should need to know about what is a present perfect tense. Basically present perfect tense, that anything that we completed in the right now in the present, then can say that this one is a present perfect tense. And the three categories of the tense in which include affirmative, negative and interrogative. For the simple affirmative we need to know about the identification and the recognition, in which include we have the chuka hai, chuke hain, liya hai, alif hai. These are apparently three types of the identification, but in fact this one is only one identification and the recognition. And next one point is your to put the correct one helping verb, to write here the correct formation way and make your statement more effective, more in a more correct form. Then we have to put here the helping verb, the has or have, and for the singular one we will use the has, and for the plural one we will use the have, and the third form the past participle, the third form can call the past participle, and the necessary to put the past participle after the has or have. For the negative we have to use the not to complete our statement, make our statement negative. And for the interrogative we put here the all those the WH family and the question mark, the helping verb at the beginning of a statement. This one is a complete criteria and pattern to make a present perfect tense. Hope so you understood. Okay, now your assignment, for your assignment you have to write here the 10 sentences for the each part, 10 for affirmative, 10 for the negative, 10 for the interrogative, and write here on the notebook and submit it and send me through the WhatsApp group. Thank you.